All right, and welcome back to the SmokeScreen podcast. I am Chris,
And I am James.
and as usual, we sat down to have a conversation without a real plan, but we started to talk about, I don't know, we started talking about a few things. Really quick though, if for you guys not familiar, this is the kind of the new playlist on the channel, the podcast we talked about, and it is available on here on YouTube as well as iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, Podbean, and Spotify. Did I get them all? I think I did.
Yes.
So yeah, check us out there if you listen on those platforms to podcast, and if you don't mind, drop us a rating. It'd really help us out. But anyway, as usual, we just kind of sit down and have these little conversations about anything and everything. There's no rules here. We started talking about recurring dreams, I think.
Yes, we did.
And it spawned from, we mentioned the other week that we have seen this Motley Crue, The Dirt documentary. And it spawned this thing in me that I've had for a while where I want to learn to play guitar.
Right.
And I had this dream about playing guitar last night because I was looking at all these videos about, beginning to play guitar and the ones to choose from for beginners and all this stuff, right? And then it kind of spurred this. I was telling James, and then we were like, he asked about these recurring dreams that I had mentioned a long time ago. Several
And
times,
that's what I
actually.
was going to say. You mentioned them time and time again. And it's like, tell them about it. I've had recurring dreams. So, yeah, I'll talk about mine as well. But I think maybe we could talk about them and maybe see where they stem from or whatever.
Yeah, we're going to analyze our dreams here.
Yeah,
is what we're
analyze
saying.
them. Yeah.
So,
I think that'd be pretty cool.
so yeah, I've had a couple different recurring dreams for years and years now, and I've told you this before, James, but the biggest one I've had, the main one I should say, that I have the most often is this dream revolving around basketball.
Yeah.
And this will get into our past a little bit, so this is kind of cool, for people that may be interested. I don't know. But I was a basketball player my entire life, and that's all I lived for until I got older and got to college. And so anyway, we'll get into all of that, I'm sure. Maybe we'll figure that out based off, my life or what happened or whatever. But this recurring dream is really odd. So essentially it's always my school, my high school. It's always a different version.
Where you played tons of games.
Where I played tons of actual games, right? And so it's always, but it's supposed to be my high school, but it's always a little different, right? It's it's like warped or it's a different look or feel, but it's supposed to be my old high school. And in this recurring dream, I'm trying to play. I mean, there's all these vivid details that were very real as far as like my little pre-game routine and all this kind of stuff, right? Like I was talking to you about before.
Getting prepared to play.
Yeah, so I'm sitting in the locker room, right, or whatever. It's supposed to be the locker room. It looks different for whatever reason. I'm putting on the uniform. I'm going through my routine of my sock and then my ankle brace and tying it up and then putting on my other sock and folding it down just right and putting on my Jordans and tying those tight and tucking in the thing, double knots and then all this shit and tucking them in, the strings, and then we go to play, and essentially in these recurring dreams, I'm never able to play because there's something always wrong with the court or people don't show up, and I'm trying to play against real people and specifically our rivals, our actual high school rivals, another school. 15 minutes down the road.
Yeah, big rival.
Big rival here in the state of North Carolina, especially in football. Very well known. But basketball is the same way. And it's always them, real people that I used to play with or against. And for some reason, we can never play. Like, for one example, the most recent, I think, is it's not a regular court like the gym. It's like a big zigzag hallway of a court. And you can never find the basket or goal or whatever.
Right.
It's always something really odd that you're just not allowed. It's like you mentioned before. I'm not ever dreaming about the real plays or the dunks or the 3-pointers or great plays. In these dreams, I can't play. I literally can't play.
That's what strikes me funny about it is because you were a successful basketball player. You have many fond memories on the court, many memories about you having a great game or whatever, that your dreams never, they never pull from that pool of memories. It's like it's bringing something out. It's like some disappointment or
it is. It's very weird. And also combines a little bit. And pardon, you probably hear the studio dog Riddick walking around here. He's clicking around. Come on, buddy. Come on up on the couch.
Come on,
but
buddy.
yeah, it's almost, and sometimes it combines with I think the classic dream a lot of people have where you feel like you can't run, like you're really slow,
Yes.
like you're stuck in quicksand or something.
I hate that feeling.
That's been combined with it before where I'm trying to get up the court and it may not be a zigzag type thing or some weird, but I can't move. So it's always something not allowing me to play. Other cases, there's people that don't show up or there's something's just preventing me from playing the game. And it's some kind of deep-seated thing in my psyche.
That's what I believe.
Because I've always loved the game since I was very, very young. I trained to take on the NBA with fire and blood, as I said, as I said in this little chapter that I wrote for this book that we'll talk about here when I get details about it. But I think it stems from
a major disappointment.
In college. I think that's where it stems from because my coach in high school, and looking back, I blame myself. It's not all on him, but he was not, let's say, the best coach for basketball or just recruitment in general.
Right.
And that goes for all our great players, not just me. So I get told to go up here. I went to East Carolina University, and the idea was for me to walk on the team, which would have been, actually very easy because I played with the guys on the team.
Right.
So that would not have been a problem except for the fact that by the time I get there, it already happened.
Before you get to that, I want to just touch on something you said and just be sure I'm clear. You said he wasn't the best coach for recruiting. Now, what you mean by that is like helping a player get into college.
Exactly.
By doing what coaches do is what? Or
yeah,
reach
they
out
reach
to the college
yes.
for you on your behalf and say, hey, this kid's good.
Yeah, they market you.
Gotcha.
They market you to colleges.
Yeah.
And he didn't even do that for, some of our star players.
Yes.
We were stacked. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I'm just putting it out there like it is. We were stacked in high school. We had we went deep on the bench. We had great players, all college, easily college level D1 players. Made the playoffs for the first time. I played varsity for 3 years, but my junior year when we all came up to varsity, we made the playoffs for the first time in like 9 or 10 years, I think it was.
Wow.
And had a deep run in the playoffs that year. Anyway, so yeah, basically he did not do that for anybody.
So
people better than me. So
you went there with the intention of walking on.
Yes. And was told by, you go here and do this after, having to ask about it. But it was wrong. It was bullshit. So I get to college, and the first thing I do is I'm unpacking my shit. I get in my dorm, and I go to find out what the process is. And that had already happened a month earlier.
Oh, my God.
So this is like the plan, right? For the last 12, 13, 14 years, you're talking about when I was young, starting this whole journey of playing every single day, rain, sleet, or snow, literally. And all these places, all these leagues at school, everything, whatever, competitive basketball, and to get up there and just to be told, or not told, but to be told that, yeah, it's kind of too late for that. And then you always have the next year, but this is where my problem is where I blame myself, is I didn't want to wait, and I wasn't there for the school.
Yes.
I wasn't there for, not that I didn't enjoy learning, I did, but I was there for basketball, and that was, everything else was secondary to me. So even though I played with those guys outside of any official capacity, I just walked away and left college the first time after all that, because I was so heartbroken about it. It was like it was over. And it didn't have to be, but it was. But I didn't know.
When you're that age, though.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. You can end up making. decisions that affect you the rest of your life, the spur of the moment. And
Yes.
I have regrets like that too, but there's something about that adolescent mind that you don't realize how much time you have. Everything's now. Oh my
Yes.
God, my world is done right now.
It is.
That's what
I
you
guess
think,
that's the way it
you know?
works. Like you can't. There's no patience.
Yeah.
Like it just all it would have done would have given me another year to prepare and stay on the radar
Stay on the radar.
and
yes.
those type of things. And I went on to play intramural basketball and got noticed, obviously. But it wasn't real to me at that point, as far as being official. So yeah, I left, and I think that I'm no psychoanalyst. I've never been in the belief that dreams particularly mean anything, because I think it's more of a, most of the time at least, it's your logical mind trying to put together or make sense of just things you've seen and heard throughout the day to keep you from going insane, actually. So I think it's just kind of a natural thing in that sense. So I've never been one to psychoanalyze dreams, but I think those type of things do stem from some deep-seated part of your psyche.
I would say so too, because look at how long we're talking now. And there is still some reason that you have these very, very disappointing dreams. It's like somewhere in the back of your mind, you're still processing this decision you made way back then, kicking yourself in the ass about it, probably.
Yes.
Even though you're not really consciously thinking that way, you're doing it. And when you go to sleep, when all the other stuff, that's why it's recurring. That's why it's like every now and then, because right now, think of all the things you have on your mind. So you go to sleep, your mind processes all the current stuff, and then gets to unpacking that still.
Yeah, it bubbles up to the surface.
Yeah.
It's like what's in the subconscious that I've never, wrestled with that demon. And although in my, my conscious mind, I don't think about that every day. I don't sit there with regret every day.
Right. And I'm not Barbara Walters, but
yeah.
have you forgiven yourself? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
do you think?
Maybe not. Maybe, probably in some ways, no.
Because you probably are thinking what your life would have been like, how different it would have been, and things like that.
Yeah, and of course, you think about stuff like that, sure, and especially for a few years after all that. But you think back now, and I don't regret many things. I have a daughter that would, and all that kind of stuff, and so I don't actively think about it. But maybe I hadn't. I don't know, because obviously it's something that when you do have the recurring dream, you think about it all damn day, and it brings back those memories. And that's when I'm out and I decide to go shoot basketball that day.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That is very true.
It's like having the dream of the ex-girlfriend, and it doesn't matter how long ago it was. You dream of the ex-girlfriend as if you were still in high school or whatever you were.
Yeah.
So you still see her and you at that age.
Yeah.
And then you think about her all day. Now, I know everybody's had that experience. It doesn't matter if you're married and in love.
No, that's right. It has nothing to do with how much.
But that just happens.
Love your
and I know a lot of people have told me that too. So it's kind of like that. Maybe it's something to where I still regret not finishing the job.
Unfinished business.
It is. There you go. It's the classic unfinished business.
Yeah.
It's some kind of demon surfacing that I haven't. I felt like I've dealt with it. I've talked about it a million times. I've thought about it for years.
Right. Probably used it as examples with Camden.
Absolutely.
When you're trying to tell her about her life and decisions you're making
She is
now.
a softball player, and I've absolutely used that to a detailed T. As far as like some, she's had some issues here and there, and
with the
coach and things like that. And I'm like, look, not many people have. You think about all the people that have come through your school every single year for the last 50 years, whatever, since the school has been around, and only about 10 or 12 a year put on that uniform.
That's right.
You're in a very small percentage of people, because she's played varsity for 4 years.
Exactly.
Not a lot of people can say that. I mean, so and she's had some recent issues, and so I've just thrown that out there to her to let her know, here's what happened to me in the sense of that kind of stuff, and don't regret something at 40 years old.
That's right.
Don't hold on to that kind of regret.
Exactly right.
I've definitely used that for sure.
Because I keep waiting for the day you say, I had a basketball dream last night. I scored 30. You know what I mean? Or the crowd went wild.
Yeah.
You know?
I never dream of those. I really don't. I had great games, whether it was school or pickup or whatever. Specifically, I remember I went to Pfeiffer University for a week. It was one of those programs, and I was supposed to be there for art. And it was I actually did this twice. One was at Catawba, where you went to school, and one was at Pfeiffer. And my 10th grade year, when I was a sophomore, went to Pfeiffer, and I got to play all week long. I didn't participate in anything. I don't know what I was supposed to be there for some kind of art thing where you stay in college for a week. You go to classes, you stay in a dorm room.
Right.
You know, you get the college experience or
Yes.
whatever. And I was in the gym the whole week with the players. And they let me play, and I played with them. And when you have people like at the time, Brad Brown, Tony Smith, who led the nation in scoring. You know, it's a D2 school, I think, right?
Right.
But he led the nation in scoring all of basketball. And when you have players like that asking you, hey, where are you going to school? As a sophomore, you feel pretty fucking good about it. You feel pretty confident after that.
Right.
When you play that good with them. So, yeah.
I draw.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm here.
This is my hobby.
It was one of those moments like, yeah, I'm just here for art camp, you know, or whatever. This one time in band camp. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, I fully expected to go because I mean, I do believe everything's a choice, and I made the wrong one. I made the wrong one in the end. You know, it wasn't over for me.
Right.
It didn't have to be.
It was just like a kind of a bitter decision at the time. You were bitter.
Yes.
And made a decision that, as it turns out, and we're just guessing that's where these dreams, you know, are stemming from. Which I think is a good, solid guess, honestly.
I do too. I do.
It's an unfulfilled dream,
right?
Surfacing as an unfulfilled dream.
It is absolutely because even in the dream I can't do it.
Exactly. Yeah, literally.
Exactly. Yeah. So that makes sense. I mean, of course, we're thinking logically about it, and dreams are not necessarily logical.
That's true.
But yeah, I mean, I can't literally in the dream can't play because I literally couldn't play. So.
I was watching comedian Mitch Hedberg. He was saying he hates dreams. You know, sleeps when you're supposed to be able to relax. He's like, but I'll lay down, and next thing I know, I'm building a go-kart with my ex-landlord.
No.
And dreams are so weird like that.
They are. It's really crazy.
You know, as far as my recurring dreams, they're horror dreams, scary dreams.
Yeah, you have these occasional nightmare.
Yeah, where I yell
on.
out loud.
Yes,
and stuff.
Yes, I've experienced this.
I don't know
from across the house.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. There's all, and these don't take place in the same house, but they all have the same elements.
Right.
And to where it's so eerily familiar that in the dream I know it's about to happen. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's a feeling that comes over me in that specific dream, and I'm like, oh, the ghost is here. And that's what it always is. It's you know, a piece of furniture will move on its own.
Right.
I'll try to leave the room and try to act cool. Try to act like I didn't see it.
Right.
I didn't
notice
see
it.
that. I don't want the ghost to think that
it won't
I'm
sense
startled.
my fear.
Exactly.
It won't sense my fear.
And then I go like I'm leaving the room, and the door will slam shut.
Right.
And somebody will be right on the other side of the door, and I'm banging and trying to get them to help me open the door because shit is moving behind me, right?
Right.
Like,
you don't want to turn around and
I don't want to look and see what it is. And I'm banging, yelling for help on the other side of the door. It's always like that, and that's when you hear me in real life yelling. That's
right.
They're always like that. I don't know what it is, but all those dreams are just like that, where I am trying to get somebody's attention. And like,
so you're trying to escape.
I am, absolutely.
You're trying to escape something.
Yeah. It'll be it'll be a really clean, well put together house. You know how people will have the houses where they never walk on their carpet. They put runners down.
Yes.
All
yeah,
right.
Yeah, yeah.
It'll be a house like that.
Like the
where-
clear plastic
Yep,
runners.
yep.
Yeah, like in grandma's house.
Exactly. It'll be like that. And that's nothing how I was raised. It's the
Right.
exact opposite of how I was raised. We had paths in our carpet, but it was because it was worn out.
Right.
And so the house is so neat, and it's like antique looking, not antique, but 60s style furniture, and
like the classic horror haunted house
I
thing.
guess so. Like, it seems like there's always one of those tables that people had in the 70s, 60s, and 70s, I guess, that would open up and there's a record player inside of it.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the front of it
yeah.
is speakers.
I
It's
thought you were going to
decorative.
say with the animal carved legs or something.
No,
'Cause
no, not that.
I remember my grandma had this kitchen table, and it's still somewhere in the family. I don't know who has it. Probably my cousin. But it's a round table, but you could slide it out and have the piece that fit to make it longer.
Yes.
And then but it had like these big carved animal paws for legs.
I know those tables.
You know
exactly
what I'm
you're
talking about? Yeah, I thought that's
Yeah.
what you were where you're going.
Yeah, big fat feet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But on wheels. It had little wheels in
Right.
it. But yeah, a
I
big,
know the table you're talking about. But no, this is just one of those kind of things where everything, they were trying to make everything look modern in the 60s and 70s.
yeah, that
And
retro modern bullshit.
modern looking.
Yeah.
That's what the furniture in these places look like. And there's always another common theme. It's always daylight, believe it or not. And
it
the
goes-
room is only illuminated by the light shining through the windows every time. And I don't know, it's just really weird. It could start out as, I'm looking here for a house to rent, and walking through the house, and all of a sudden the house starts looking like that, and then that feeling comes. It's like, oh no. And I can feel it. Something's about to move in here, and it does. I almost talk
Right.
myself into it in the dream.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what mine necessarily means, to be honest with you. I really don't. It's so unique to itself. These
Yeah, so
dreams
you're saying the environment's never the same, but your escape is, or
And,
trying to
yeah,
get out of a
and-
door.
And the feel and the look of the house that I'm in always has that feel. It's like that time period, whether on the outside of the house, it's current time. Inside the house, all the decorations, they have the runners and the carpet, and all the
Right.
decorations look. Okay, here's a good way to put it. If you have a grandparent or a great grandparent, the living room nobody goes in.
Yeah, the den.
The den, that's what it's like.
Yes, the den with all the antique lamps you're not supposed to break.
That's the feel I'm going for right
Yes,
there.
Yes, because believe me, I know that well. Do not wrestle in there.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, me and Chad wish. Yes.
And you're like, why are you wasting this perfectly good room? Nobody ever comes in here.
right.
you
You'll
know?
break my $1,600 antique lamp.
That's the room. That's the feel of these
Yes.
dreams. They're always like that. And I'll try to leave that room, and I can't. I get locked in there. So
Interesting.
that is really weird, man.
Locked in an antique den,
Yeah.
yelling for help.
Yeah.
Literally out loud.
Yeah. But I can always see. It's never dark. I can
So
always
the
see.
other week, or it's probably been a couple months now, when I was in there editing or playing a game or something, and you had went to sleep, and across the house I heard help, and I thought I did. I wasn't quite sure because I had headphones on.
That
And then
one-
I don't. Was that this?
That was a little different. That was my sleep apnea causing me to dream.
Oh, that's right. You told me that.
Yeah, I
the
didn't-
next day. I think it was.
I had an episode where I had fallen asleep without putting my CPAP on, and in my dream, I guess since I was having trouble breathing, in my dream, there was a ghost wrapping my CPAP hose around my neck.
Right. That was
yeah.
the Freddie Krueger one.
Yes.
Okay. I can't remember which.
But
time
still, that
was.
is similar because I never have seen this. The closest thing I've ever seen to a ghost in one of these dreams is a doll, about a 2 or 3 foot doll, blonde-headed doll walking by itself. And I don't know if you remember those kind of dolls from when you were a kid. They had the really hard plastic legs, and their arms, they didn't bend at the elbow or the knee. They were that kind of doll.
Yeah,
If you had a
yeah.
cousin or
Yeah.
somebody that had those kind of
Yeah.
dolls, it was one of those, and it was walking by itself. That was a kind of a freaky
Like the
too.
one you see burn up in Terminator.
There you go, dude.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? That
Yep.
scene. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. So, yeah, your theme is ghost and being trapped or escape
And
or
things moving on their own.
and things moving on their own, but ghost is always involved.
I don't know why, man. And
Yeah, you've always had this thing for supernatural and
yeah, a little fascination, I would call it.
yes, that and sharks.
And it's the last thing I want to dream about.
Right.
It really is.
Unless you really do.
Yeah,
See, maybe it's a
now that
calling.
gets deep right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would never.
like maybe it's something where we talked about this before. We did an old podcast on ghosts, and we talked about ghosts before, and you have a thing for sharks, but you love watching shark shit,
Love it.
and I guess you watch ghost shows.
I do.
So it's like
I get freaked out too.
It's like you're being called to study this shit or something. I don't know. Like,
I'm the guy who will make himself watch a ghost show and then get so scared he turns it. Why would I ever watch another one? I don't understand it. Why do I think, okay, this time I'll be strong enough to watch it, I'll finish it. But as soon as something moves on its own, I'm done.
Yeah, right.
And I've shown you some videos. I'm like, what do you think of this? You think this is a hoax? Because people put a lot of hoax videos on where say the premise is, I've noticed cabinets open in my kitchen, so I set up a camera in there.
Yes,
and then
yeah,
you'll see dishes flying and shit like that.
Right,
So-
and then you see the exposed videos later.
Exactly.
Yeah, because we talked about that on the previous Ghost podcast.
And so
Yeah.
that right there, I still am fascinated with watching those, even though I don't believe in 95% of them. Some of them are done really well. But I would say sharks and things moving on their own are the two scariest things. Okay, and this is way off topic, but speaking of things moving on their own, we talked about this before too, a Ouija board.
Yeah.
You know, because if I'm ever in a room, which I won't find myself there at 45 now, but when I was a teenager and stuff, if I was ever at a party or whatever, hanging out and somebody broke one out, I would leave the room.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I've touched one time and tried to play it, and it moved. Everybody swore they weren't moving it. I knew I wasn't moving it. So I stopped.
Right.
And I don't want to be, because The Exorcist, that's how that started. Was
Yeah.
on a Ouija board.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, mine is, I don't know. Like you said, unless you want to see it deep down, I don't know. I don't know where mine would stem from. And if
Yeah,
I
'cause
do ever think of that, I will bring it to your attention.
Yeah, because you've told a lot of stories, and a couple of those were ghost stories.
Yeah, I
or
have been in the
experiences or
presence of
whatever.
ghosts. I have.
But yeah, it's very odd because you're afraid of these things, but you keep, I don't know, something's pulling you to, like you said, you're afraid of the stuff, but you want to watch the shows about it or the videos.
Yeah.
And now you're dreaming about it.
And I love the beach, but won't go in the ocean.
Right.
So because sharks are in there, and and it looks so fun. People look like they're having so much fun out there.
Because they are.
Yeah, but I can't make myself do it. I would never surf. I would never even think about trying to surf. But this is really weird to say this, but I thought about this the other day. Being somebody who wholeheartedly believes in ghosts, it's a weird club to belong to. It is because
Yeah.
there are other people who wholeheartedly believe in ghosts. They have ghost experiences, but it's like it's one of those things where people roll their eyes. So when I hear people, swear and be damned that they've seen an alien or a UFO, I have to go, I know what that feels like. I don't believe you saw a UFO, but you know what I mean? But I
Yes.
believe you believe it. So it's really weird. It's a weird feeling and a weird club to belong to.
When we talked about it before, that's what I was saying. I'm always the skeptic, but I don't doubt that people believe what they're seeing or experiencing.
Yeah.
I just think it's different things. But anyway, that's not what this is about. So,
No.
anyway, but yeah, it's just odd.
Now,
It's
maybe my experience causes these recurring dreams.
yeah.
Now, maybe I got so scared it bookmarked something in my brain.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. It's
and
like
my brain keeps going back
some
to
neural
it.
pathway that's still active and won't shut off.
Won't shut off. And when I run out of sex to dream about, that comes back up.
Right. So
maybe I need to watch porn right before I go to bed every night to ward this off.
Oh shit. Yeah.
But no, I've already got Camden trained. She has holy water in there beside her bed and a crucifix. I'm like, kick my door down. Kick my door down if I scream ever.
Oh Lord.
Just start dousing me with it.
Because that's gonna help. According to movies anyway. Yeah, I don't know. That's a mixture of a little bit experienced and probably a lot of movies. I don't know, but it's odd. But yeah, I don't know. Is there a difference? Because in my situation, it's always the same place. It's always the same environment. I mean, it's always slightly different, but it's supposed to be, like in the dream where you're at. I know it's my high school. I know it's the gym. I know it's, even though it looks different or there's something weird about the court or
right.
It's always the real people.
Exactly.
It's the same cast of characters. It's like a recurring TV show.
You have a legitimate recurring dream. I have a recurring theme.
Yes. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. That's because I'm glad I don't have the same dream like that. Because at some point, have you ever been in the dream and go, here we go again? You have?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I explore it.
That's cool.
It's not scary. It's frustrating because I can't play.
Yeah.
There's something stopping me, whether it's the court or whether it's the lack of a goal or the people or I don't have a ball or I can't move. There's something that's stopping me from playing, so I want to play.
Exactly.
And so like I'm in the dream and you're like, no, you're in the dream.
Yep.
But I'm thinking I'm gonna play this time, and it never happens. It's never happened.
Or you're saying sometimes you are in the act of playing, but there's no goal to shoot at.
Yeah, I don't specifically remember ever.
Like pass.
I mean, I think I've been on the court and had the ball in my hand, but that was when if I do, I can't move or I'm really slow.
Yeah, that's
one of those things. So it's just different ways that I just can't do it. Like, but the most recent one, like I said, the most vivid one I remember is it being some endless zigzag of a court where you can't ever find the damn goal.
I hate that.
It's so odd. So yeah, it's definitely a recurring dream and theme, I guess you could say. Yeah, but it's some inner thing, some regret, some whatever. I don't know. It's really odd. And now, of course, I really can't play because I'm old. But I gotta get my ass back into shape. Been thinking about this lately too. When I talk about basketball, because
your body's way of reminding you?
It could be because we were last weekend. You were out of town, but me and Dustin, my cousin, we watched Uncle Drew, which I'd forgotten to watch. I always wanted to watch Uncle Drew.
Yes,
I love the commercials. And Uncle Drew really hit home for me because it's about older dudes. Now, obviously, they're playing old dudes.
Yeah.
But older dudes who are legends coming back to play ball again at Rutgers Park.
Oh, that's cool.
And not that we had a Rutgers Park around here, but you had a lot of those parks, those places, those courts that were, that you ran. And that got me, I mean, I could... Like, he thought he could relate to it as a kid. It's just a great basketball movie to him.
Yeah.
But I could really relate to it because it's the same thing where, like, I'm the older dude now. There's no reason for me to go get in, basketball shape to try out for anybody. That's not going to happen.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I hate that too.
Because people my age are retiring if they're still playing.
That's
There's a few still our age that run around, but they ride the bench. They're old now compared to these 20-year-olds.
Or they're over in Spain.
Or something like that. But usually you're out of the NBA by the time you're 35. But anyway, so I can really relate to watching that movie and the feeling, and because Kyrie Irving plays, obviously, Uncle Drew, and he hits home several times, talks about it's about the love of the game and playing the game the right way and all this stuff. And it really hit home for me like, okay, I may be old and I may not be able to go try out for an NBA team anymore.
Right.
But I can go out and play the game and enjoy it and get back in decent shape and
absolutely
and do all that and use that as my, like I always have, as the tool, to get back in shape in this case. But before, it's where if I had an issue or I was feeling down about something or something wasn't going right when I was younger, that's where I'd go. I'd go out by myself in solitude with a basketball.
Yeah.
And that movie really hit home for me. It really made me start thinking about this stuff again, which kind of brings up the whole thing about the music thing and the guitar thing and all that stuff. It's just
well, like you said earlier, you said the Doyle Brunson quote. You know, that's very true.
Yeah,
I used to love that he said that every time we watched poker.
Yeah, he played it about poker, but Uncle Drew said it about basketball. You know, you don't get old because you stop playing. You stop playing. No, I'm sorry. You don't stop playing because you get old. You get old because you stop playing.
Yes,
and that's so true about everything.
About everything,
it fits everything. Any love,
any love. That's
any
right.
love that you have. So yeah, I mean, it really hit home, and that's what, like I said, it started this, and it's just what I was saying. I'm not going to go be in a band.
No,
I'm not even
right.
a musical person in the sense of having any talent, but I can learn to play the guitar like anybody could, and I've started to in the past and stopped. My stepsister taught me a little bit years and years ago. She was really good on acoustic guitars, and I have a cousin who is probably the best guitar player I've ever seen play, but you never know his name.
Right.
He started a business, in the music industry and made a shit ton of money, and now he's retired and all that stuff, but he's a great musician. So I'm going to go learn to play the guitar just in spare time, just sitting here playing around, because why not?
There's no reason not to.
There's no reason not to.
And, I honestly grew up around all musicians, all of my closest friends were in bands. I was always a roadie, and I guess I was about 30, right at 30. And my buddy Jimmy, who is an amazing drummer, he started giving me, because he started teaching, drum lessons at a music store, and he taught me how to read sheet music for drums, and I was really catching on and loving it. But I had the same feelings you did, as far as like, I'm not going to go join a band or anything. And at the time, drums, that's a loud ass hobby to try to learn, right?
Yes.
Whereas a guitar, you can do that in the solitude of your room and not disturb the neighbors. And so I gave up on that, and he's kicked me in the ass a few times, said I had some natural talent, I should have followed up on that, and I always could dust that off again. But guitar specifically, I've always wanted to do that for more reasons than just playing guitar, is to see if any songs would come out of me.
Yeah, because you learn music in the process, and you wonder if that's in you. Do you have it to write a song?
Yeah, I'd like to write a
yeah.
song. I've always liked singer-songwriter type musicians, and I'd always like to see if I could do something like that too.
Yeah.
So I totally get the
not
urge.
that you plan on putting out a record and joining a label, or like you said, joining a band, because the drums were the other thing for me too. Because even last night when I started thinking about it more and started watching some videos, I was like, should I try drums or guitar? I love them both.
Yeah.
But I feel like
see, now
they might lead to both.
They have killer, electronic drum sets.
Exactly, that you can listen to in your headphones.
Yes, sir. And you're not disturbing the neighbors.
Exactly, and you can play it back on your computer and record it. Exactly. Because
So
I watched one of those videos last night.
Oh, really?
Learned to play the drums in 7 days, and one of those kits was sent to somebody. She took it apart, put it all together, and you could, like on the video, you could hear her playing, but you couldn't hear it until she played what she had recorded.
Absolutely.
And it was,
when I was learning, I was playing on some of those kits. They were amazing.
Pretty badass.
But
although I would still want the classic. Regular set of pearls.
The funny, funny thing is, you and I used to rock out on some damn Rock Band and Guitar Hero. Remember, we had the drum kit and everything.
Oh God, yeah.
That was so.
I remember
fun.
going hoarse doing it.
That was so fun.
That
man.
was fun. Those are. That's how our poker league started.
That's exactly how
our poker league started with Guitar Hero.
Yep.
We graduated to Rock Band.
Yep. And
then we started playing board games and poker.
Yeah, we kept meeting every week doing that, and then all of a sudden it turned into, well, let's put this down, and hey, you want to play some poker? And that turned into about a 6 or 8 year run as a poker league, legitimate poker league.
Yeah, where we started having like kick people out.
Yeah.
Because it was getting
Too
so big.
many people showing up.
Yeah.
That was fun.
But
man.
yeah, that was fun. And actually that made us bring out the old PlayStation 2 with Guitar Hero about a year or two ago.
Yeah.
You brought that over here.
And that was fun to dust that off.
And we dusted that off and played that again, and then our kids were playing. So that was cool.
I totally recommend something to you right now. I'll put this out there. If you get a guitar and start seriously trying to learn how to play, I really think you should document it. And
yeah,
that could be
I thought about
another playlist on your channel or something.
Yeah,
right?
or maybe the vlog channel or something.
Yeah.
Because I saw a girl last night on a video, 3 years of progress, and she literally recorded at least once a month for 3 years. And it showed from the very first day she picked up a guitar to 3 years in, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
And then she has, and I looked at her channel, and then she's got a lot of other videos now, how she's teaching and how what's the best electric guitar, for example, for beginners. Because I had a great little Fender acoustic for years, and that's what I was learning on when I first started to try to learn. And I would get so frustrated. At first, I didn't have the time, but and I could have made time, but my fingers are so I got big hands, and so the chords I'd hit other strings.
Exactly.
That was my big frustration. I'm just going to have to get over it.
You will. That's something you have to work through.
Exactly.
When I got a itch, I guess it's been about 12 years ago.
And
I
actually
bought a guitar. I got that Fender Strat, and that was the problem I had, because I beat myself up too much. I never got out of that uncomfortable zone.
Right.
I would hit a sour note and get pissed off and think I'm smarter than this. I'm more coordinated than this. Why am I struggling?
Right.
Meanwhile,
I should
these
be able
other
to get
kids
this in 10 minutes.
Yeah, they were going through all these growing pains at 15, 16 when they didn't beat themselves up so much.
Exactly. Exactly. Because I expect a lot from myself.
Yeah.
But I actually had a guy I know who learned to play the guitar. It's been many years ago now. He was having the same issue, big hands, hitting other strings. He took a 6-string and had a string removed.
I'll be damned.
And then had them realigned so there was more space and on the frets, and was able to hit it and learn it. So maybe, I don't know. So yeah, I mean, that's just, everybody deals with that, I'm sure. But I'm going to do it just for fun. So I'm going to get me a little starter guitar and an amp and just sit here and fuck around with it.
Do it, dude. Do it.
I mean, and all the other million things I got on my mind right now, I don't need another hobby, but I need some. That it's be a cool way a cool little thing to play around with, a couple, 30 minutes a day, and like you said, maybe even record it. That'd be kind of cool.
I've always admired. I mean, I think when you get into music, I think it opens up other doors in your mind. And we'll get all those other creative juices flowing too.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
You might put the guitar down and go write 3 straight chapters on your book. You never know.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, because as far as art goes, I think it's all the same vein.
Yeah.
I've always been an artist. And from a family of artists, and when I say art, I mean actual fine art, drawing, painting, for anybody who gives a damn. But and then we have I've been doing the YouTube thing, and I don't know. It all seems to be in the same vein of some kind of creativity. So I've always wondered if I followed through with the piano like I should have, because my mom plays piano really good. And I learned a little bit there. And I started the guitar, but never followed through because I was young, dumb, and too busy for that kind of shit. But my dad actually learned at an older age to play the violin.
I'll be damned.
Which was kind of cool to go over there and see him playing on the fiddle.
Yes.
So my brother, he learned to play the banjo and guitar at a very young age and still plays. So I think it's the same vein of creativity or artist or whatever you want to call it that's in me, that's just wanting to come out. And now that I'm a little older and I can appreciate things more and be a little more patient and all that kind of stuff, I don't know. I'm just gonna play with it. I'm gonna do it.
I'm backing you 100%, man. I say go for it.
And so I don't know. Well, maybe I'll crank the amp up and keep the neighbors up. But so what? It'd be fun trying, and probably a lot of frustration and all that good stuff. But anyway, I'm just talking about something in my spare time.
If you succeed at this,
and
I will bet you'll have a dream where the game plays.
Oh, where I can play?
Yep.
Maybe.
Yeah, you're gonna because you'll overcome this obstacle. You know, you'll have all these growing pains, kicking yourself, trying to learn how to play this. You will play Shout at the Devil all the way through. Go to sleep that night and have a dream where you score 30.
I was just going to say Inner Sandman, but that works too.
Okay, cool.
I was actually going to say Inner Sandman. Yeah, you'll hear me in here
yes.
playing when I get Metallica down, and Dio and Motley Crue and some of those. Because I mean, look, I love all kinds of music. I love rap, hip hop. I was into that. My cousin Eric got me into that when we were, I don't know, 7. I mean, you're talking about old Sugar Hill Gang stuff.
Yes.
But I'm also a metalhead.
Right.
Always have been. So, yeah, I mean, when I get to the point where I'm playing, the main chorus of Inner Sandman, I think I'll be happy. Because it's going to start off with a lot of bad strums of here's an E. Yang.
Oh, God, yes. It's going to be just like that.
Exactly. And it's going to start that slow. E to A to C to A to C, whatever. So anyway, I mean, I'll take the little bit of knowledge I have and just, now the great thing is we have YouTube. Because when I started learning guitar the first time, we didn't have YouTube.
No. And
it was just us and me and my sister in the basement, and she was like, "Here, try this," and my hands are too big, and I was pissed off. And she was doing fine. It was me, but I didn't have all these other resources when she's not around.
All of my musician friends have told me that how they wish YouTube would have been around when they were learning.
Because you can literally get on YouTube and look up guitar or piano or whatever for beginners and look at a whole course.
That's right.
Here, play this note, cling. Play this chord, bling.
And they're encouraging on there too. I've watched a lot of those tutorials.
Yeah, and
you're going to sound like crap.
There's one guy I just watched today. Actually, I think it's Andy Guitar that I came across because this other channel had recommended it for a beginner's channel, and to put himself in the shoes of a beginner, since he's an experienced guitar player, he played left-handed.
That's really
he flipped
cool.
it, and it was able to almost be a beginner again with his other hand doing the.
That is really,
you know what I mean.
Neat,
so that's pretty cool. That takes skill to be able to flip it and play with the other hand.
I would not be surprised if in the comments of this video people are putting links to resources and stuff for you. But also in these comments, I wouldn't mind other people, touching on some of their recurring dreams or their thoughts on our recurring dreams.
Yeah, so we kind of was the main focus was the recurring dream thing, I guess, for this particular podcast. But the music thing,
that's a dream. That's a recurring dream.
Yeah, I think it stems from it. Right. I was going to say that.
What would you call that? A different kind of dream,
it's a regret that a lot of people have.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to play the guitar. I've always wanted to learn to play piano or drums or violin or bass or whatever. And the thing is, and that I remember talking to my mom when she was teaching me a little bit of piano. Well, it was just when she was young, that was just normal. Piano lessons were normal.
Yes.
You had to go to your weekly piano lesson. And that was a normal thing. It was a normal thing in school in those days, where now it's more of an elective, if it's even in there at all. So I think a lot of people in the comments, and whether it's YouTube or Google Play, SoundCloud, wherever you're listening to this, let us know what you think about that too. Not only the recurring dream thing, but are you one of those people that always wanted to play the guitar, but you just never got around to it, or didn't think you could do it? Or are you a current musician who started late in life?
That would be a really cool story to hear, yeah.
Or any experienced music players who had the same, because, I think a lot of people just say to themselves, I can't do it. I don't think I could do it. No. I promise you, everything's a damn choice. You can do it. And I know I can do it, and I'm going to do it. And again, it's not to go join a rock band.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go play basketball tomorrow to, get in shape for an NBA team.
That's right.
But it's a love. It's the love for the game, or the love of music, or whatever it is that you have, and that's what keeps you dreaming. You don't have to stop because you're 44 or whatever we are. I don't even know how old. I think I'm 43. But you know what I mean. So, yeah, we've turned this into a positive thing, a life lesson for anybody younger out there.
That's right.
Seriously, it's not too late. It really is never too late to do things that you want to do. But if you love it, you don't have to make money doing it. You know what I mean?
I'll also say, if you are a younger listener, don't put off these dreams, because what happens is you think you get to it, in a few months or something.
Yes.
And then life happens.
Life happens.
You knock somebody up,
and then
you know what I mean.
Yeah, and then you'll be sitting here at 43 years old, having a recurring dream because it's stemming from some fucking regret you had when you was 18.
Amen.
So this all kind of, hey, this is really
Carpe
cool.
diem.
Exactly. Carpe diem. Seize the fucking day.
Yep.
I know fucking's not in the actual translation. That's my addition. But no, I'm glad we kind of went down this podcast path tonight, because we thought we're like, all right, this is going to be all over the place.
Yep.
We're just but no, it all ties in together. It really does.
We put a bow on this one.
Yeah, I think so. So anyway, yeah, guys, I think where are we at? 40 minutes or so, or 50, whatever. So yeah, we'll wrap it up there. I think.
Yeah,
I think we're good.
I got some porn to watch.
That's right. You got to get your porn on so you don't have any ghost stories tomorrow.
But I'll bring you that holy water from Camden's room just in case.
Right. So anyway, if you're on YouTube, let us know what you think in the comments, and again, let us know what you think about this podcast in general. You can listen to episode 1 where we talk about what our goals are for this. It's really nothing more than us hanging out, having a conversation we'd normally have. We're just hitting the record button. These are raw and unedited. I don't have time to edit other things, so that's what this is going to be. And we're just going to keep just chatting about things.
Hell yeah, man! I love it. It really it gives us a good excuse to hang out and and talk like we used to more. Life happens.
So we're trying to recreate the campfire or the front porch. It's just cold right now with good equipment inside.
Before we end this, one regret for me just jumped out.
Uh-oh.
And I do feel like I'm too old to do this now. But you remember the skater craze and all that?
Oh, yeah. I was a skater.
All right. So listen.
Absolutely. I watched a Tony Hawk video today. How
Did
can
you really?
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
It just popped in my feed, and I saw Tony Hawk, who I was really an idol of mine because I was tall like him. And it was different for us tall dudes on skateboards. Anyway, I'm sorry. Yes.
Well, no, I was just going to say, do you have any idea how much time I wasted standing on the edge of a ramp, and I have never dropped down?
Oh, you didn't never do the drop in?
I never did.
Hey,
and I want to do it. I've wanted to do it. I have never failed because I never tried it.
Yeah,
I was too afraid.
I
to
remember
drop.
that day like it was yesterday, because I love street skating and ramp. I was more of a street skater, but I did ride ramps and half pipes. We had a lot of guys in the neighborhood that had half pipes, and small ones, big ones. But the first time I dropped in on one with a half foot or a foot of vert, which means it's actually vertical there for people who are not listening, half pipe, that feeling. But the first thing I did was I purposely slid down on my knees, knee pads.
Yeah.
Once you learn how to fall, you're fine.
See, I just never. I loved skating on the street, like you said. But I would watch people, just like I talk about the ocean.
Right.
They're having such a blast.
Right.
And they try to be so encouraging when you're standing there with the back pressed down, the wheels hanging over the edge, and you're looking down.
And the reason you fall is because you don't commit completely. That's the reason you fall. If you don't push all the way through, you will fall backwards and just slide down your butt. But if you do, it's easy.
And see, now I'm too old. I would not heal as quickly.
if you fell back.
I've had a couple back surgeries. I'm afraid to go back. You know what I mean? But damn it, who knows? Who knows? I might.
Yeah, I don't know. If you put on a pair of knee pads and some elbow pads, you could do it.
Right. We definitely would have to film that.
Yeah,
but I've wasted a lot of time up there trying to psych myself up and not do it.
No, I was there for probably when I first got on a big ramp that wasn't some small thing. When you're starting to look down and you're up 12 feet.
That's what I'm talking about.
Then it's like, yeah. But eventually you just have to go, fuck it.
Yeah.
And commit. And once you commit, I mean, if you don't commit, you're going to fall every time. But because that's where everybody falls, is when you think, okay, I'm going to do it. you push down, but then you don't push down hard and fast, and you kind of pull up like, oh, I can save it. No, you can't, because you're going down the back wheels, and it flies out and shoots out on the other side of the ramp.
I can picture it.
Hit somebody in the head, and then you fall on your back, and whatever. But
I'm just such a cautious guy in life in general.
Yeah.
I always have been.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to say fuck it.
Right.
And then you're like, yes.
There you go, all you young listeners. Don't be 45 and never had said, oh, fuck it.
Yeah, well, yeah. Be cautious, but sometimes.
No, I agree. You got to do that.
But
or
it's
you'll live a
sometimes
life of regret.
You do. You do. Sometimes you just got to say fuck it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I have gone streaking.
now, see, I have not done that. I have not done the streaking thing. Been
streaking down a main street, but never had the balls to drop in on the ramp. I'm effed up.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I've never been streaking. I've seen streakers. East Carolina University. I said that earlier. That was all the time. Never done it myself. So anyway, yeah, let us know what you think, man.
Yeah,
this was fun hanging out and chatting about this. And it kind of all came together about one theme, I guess it ended up being. When we thought it was going to be like all over the place. How can we mix dreams, music, and basketball?
We brought that around really good.
So ended up working out. Ended up being pretty much the same thing.
That's right.
So yeah. Anyway, let us know what you think. And again, this is available on YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, Podbean, and Spotify. So if you follow us there, that's great. If you don't mind, give us a good review. That'll help out.
Appreciate it.
Get the word out. And otherwise, we'll continue. Yes, we'll continue next week, and we'll just let this fade out into nothingness as usual. Good night. Get out. Too bad we can't stay, baby.